Eliot Spitzer made an emotional appearance on MSNBC's Morning Joe today that caught many off guard. Let's take a look.
So as personally as you can answer this question, don't give me a pat answer. Don't give me one that you prepare in your mind. How are you different than you were 5-6 years ago? What has changed personally?
A lot of pain.
Of who you are.
A lot of pain.
That's it.
Yeah. You go through that pain, you change.
All right, former Governor Eliot Spitzer, thank you very much for coming on the show. Thank you.
Zach, it even sounded like Mika might have been choking up there as well. I mean, what do you make of Spitzer's choking up during the interview?
I mean, it's pretty intense. You know, when I've spoken to Governor Spitzer, we talk about financial reform stuff and bank regulations and capital requirements. It's not stuff that people get. I mean, he'll get angry sometimes when he talks about banks breaking rules, but it's not. He never struck me as a particularly emotional guy. And typically, politicians tearing up especially male politicians tearing up, is not like a really great thing for your political career. But that seemed like a really sincere expression of emotion to me. I think that there are stories that you hear about him. People ask how he liked being a columnist for Slate or something, and he'll say like, "Oh, it's okay, but I used to be governor of New York. That was a lot cooler." I think when you have such a public fall from grace, which clearly it was a personal fall from grace too. I mean, it's something that was really difficult for his family. I think that was a pretty sincere expression of emotion, and I think that those sorts of events change people, and that was pretty clear from that clip.
Well, Zach, I don't want to, be too cynical about it, but as you know, on the interwebs, people have all sorts of opinions. And John Podhoretz said, Morning Joe asked, how is Spitzer different from 5 years ago? Quote, a lot of pain, he answered. Then he tries to cry, tries and fails. We also have Alex Burns saying, do you think, quote, choked up voice quivering is a middle ground between cried and didn't cry? I mean, what do you make of these kinds of comments? Obviously, a lot of people are going to want to comment on this.
Sure. I mean, people who don't like Eliot Spitzer are going to find any excuse they can to say that he sucks. I mean, John Podhoretz hates every Democrat who ever does anything, so that doesn't surprise me too much. I mean, Alex Burns, that seems like a very Politico type of comment. I mean, is it a middle ground between crying and not crying? I guess, maybe. I mean, to me, that seemed real. If it wasn't, then if we find out, in choke up gate or cry gate later that it was all a facade, then I'll eat my words on it. But that seemed like a sincere expression of emotion to me, and I think all of the attention that it's getting right now really shows that people are kind of surprised and that it seems to have struck some kind of nerve with people.